I see you there, baby dolls, and I salute you. This is a 3-hour interview of Arthur Hayes. Now, most other people out there, non-friends, they will tell you to go watch it. But you know what I did? By the way, I've been very sick under the weather. And instead of resting, what I decided to do was watch some David Goggins and then summarize the whole 3-hour interview for you in this channel and give you the juiciest information.
Get back to fucking work. It's time to get back to work. Stop hearing yourself talk. Get off the podcast. Don't be on social media too much. Cut out all the fucking noise. Get back to the...
I got it, sir. Get back to work, we will. So because I love and respect you, you will get the 3-hour juicy summary right now. And not the boring bits. I'm going to give you the actual information you need for crypto. I'm also going to need you to confirm our friendship in the comment section. So there is a lot of talk of history, World War I, World War II. But let's get straight to the point, friends. They're going to print money again. That's it. The US government, the Federal Reserve, the bug-eater overlords, they're going to print money. It is the end of the game. They're heading faster and faster towards the end of the game. They're going to print money, but they're not going to call it yield curve control or anything else where the market, and by the way, QE, they won't call it QE unless it's super, super emergency and they really want to hear it. Most likely, they're just going to call it another word. ABCD1. Dingleberry 5. How about that? The Dingleberry 5 program. It's going to involve printing money. So, by the way, if you want to know, why don't they let you know that it's QE again? It's because they know psychologically in our mind, if we think they're printing money, we're going to disrespect their currency. They don't want it to be disrespected. They want to have manipulation and control. They want to be able to say, hey, we are now directing you. You are now allowed to go and spend the currency to go buy risk assets. That's what you're allowed to do. But they don't want you to think that the currency is poopy forever. So they're going to print money again. Number 2, he's betting big on AI. But not yet. He's got some AI stuff. So, and he says it's going to be a pump and dump. So he's going to wait. He's going to buy AI stuff, AI stocks, AI crypto, and then just dump it. He says it's probably going to price in the future too much, as humans do. We're going to get ahead of ourselves. And that might be the next cycle. Now, I've got some thoughts about that. I've already told you, friends, all over my channel that you like, subscribe, belly button, and all to, and shock that algorithm gently as a family-friendly show. I've told you, look, AI, it's not enough to just be AI. Give me the product. Tell me what you're doing with AI. Right now, all we can do with AI is generate cartoon boobies. Just a Japanese hentai stuff. That's all it is. We need more than that. I want to see product creation. I want you to curate maybe social media stuff. I want you to create stuff. I'm sure entrepreneurs can do it out there, but they haven't made anything yet. When they do, it's going to be great. By the way, don't get fooled to any AI trading stuff because that's just scammy algorithms as well. He also advises a barbell strategy for now. And I'm just here interjecting, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. You don't do a barbell now, okay? It's too late for that. So what's a barbell? A barbell is where, you know, a barbell when you're lifting weights, friends. On one side, you have your insurance in one pocket, say gold, 10%. On the other side, you have your lottery ticket, 10% in crypto. Okay? And then in the middle, you have cash, 80% cash, all right, which is cash short-term yield. It's a short-term, 1 month, 3 month type of yields, just earning very short-term yield. And you say, what's the whole point of that? Well, it's so you can make money every day. Basically, you make money every 3 months, every year, just in case the big event happens, you got money ready to load up. Now, why don't I like this? I'll tell you right now why I don't like it. It's because the market is getting smarter at sniffing out this stuff. You are not going to get a zombie virus capitulation down to 0 for you to buy everything else. In fact, it's going to make you capitulate higher. And you might say to me, oh, are you saying that my friend Somi is greater than Mr. Arthur Hayes? No, I'm not. Mr. Arthur Hayes, I'm going to share with you, has a target of Bitcoin of 750,000. So in Mr. Arthur's mind, which I'm going to show you right now, if his target for Bitcoin is all the way up here, this is 750K, okay? He doesn't care whether he buys at 40K, 60, or even 100K. He doesn't matter. He doesn't care because he believes it's going. Let's put on a linear chart, by the way. See this difference? Wow. He thinks Bitcoin's going all the way up here. Oh my gosh. See the differences, friends. So before we judge anyone, I just want to share with you, okay. Now, if we get 750K Bitcoin, I will eat both my socks, okay? I would like that. But it's possible. Remember I said, well, if the crowd expects 100K, maybe it's either 80K or we go up to like 500 plus. Just think about the money required for a second. In my next post for you, because I love and respect you and your kindness, your friendship, I explain again, what a barbell strategy is, what I just shared with you, okay? So you have, Nassim Taleb mentions, you got a lottery ticket in one pocket and you got the insurance in the other pocket. You're super safe, you're super risky, and then you're making cash in between. Because, what's the upside? Well, if crypto goes to zero, sweet, you're in cash. That's actually what Arthur says, by the way. He says, well, if crypto goes to zero, that's okay. You're still making your cash. But also, friends, let's be honest here, okay? I know, look, I've spoken to a lot of you, and for every 100 people, I would say easily 80 have less than $10,000 right now. Less than 10K. You have absolutely no business touching a bond or cash product or stable coins at all. I'd be willing to tell you, if you've got less than 50K, man, you shouldn't even have any cash. You shouldn't have literally a single dollar of cash. What are you doing wasting your time? They're inflating 5% of the money supply per year, right? You're going to lose half your purchasing power by 2030, yeah? You have literally no business holding a cash dollar. So, super important to think about. Now, when Arthur's got like 1.5 billion, okay, it's a different story. But for the average person, it's not. So I'm here just to share with you the concepts, friends, because everybody's got a different portfolio size. So it applies for them. Arthur doesn't care about going all in on Bitcoin or crypto. Why? Because he's already a billionaire. So if he turns 1 billion into 6 billion, it doesn't really excite him because the thought of losing $1 billion and being poor again is too devastating. He does believe that there's going to be a big money printing event and Bitcoin goes to 750K or $1 million. All right. So he doesn't care if Bitcoin's at 50K. That's what I mentioned to you before. But here I am to interject again. There will be big problems if you do this and Bitcoin doesn't hit 750K, but instead stops at $80,000 and round trips back to 30,000. You also run into issues if altcoins get bought up earlier. So, look, we've seen the charts, friends. Look, I'm going to share with you one more time because I love and appreciate you. You did a 20,000x from the bottom to the top. Then you did a 600. Then you divided by 5 again to do a 100. Then you divided by 5 again to do a 20x. You had infinite money printing up here. You had 0% interest rates. You had $16 trillion in negative yielding bonds. And you still couldn't hit 100K. So please tell me how you see the parabola getting broken again and Bitcoin to go from here to give you a 30x. How's that going to happen? Look, I'd love it to do that. Here we go. That's actually what, a 47x to the top? That's wild, right? That's half of the 2070. Oh, man, I hope that happens, but it's going to have to happen fast. If you're doing it in a 4-year cycle, I mean, we got to really, like when we break that top, we can't be stalling at 80K. We got to be zipping up to 160 to 200K within the next 1 or 2 months. I also mentioned a critical point. If you run this strategy, you are betting on something happening, which is you're betting that the altcoin degens are not going to buy your bags up fast. That's the wrong strategy. All right. Now, I don't know the future. I know that we're friends right now, and I know that I have very straight posture, but I promise you one thing. If you honestly think the millions of degens out there are that stupid that they're going to wait for Bitcoin to go up before they start buying altcoins, well, you've learned nothing. You've learned nothing. I know you have learned a lot because I've told you, as my friend, that what I learned in 2021 was people stopped waiting for the large cap and mid cap altcoins to rotate. They just started buying Doge and all the other garbage. They saw Bitcoin go up, they bought Doge straight away. That's it. Now, why do they do that? It's because they're smart. Because they knew, they go, wait a minute, let's just go further down the risk curve. And they had to do it. Why? They're losing more and more purchasing power every year. They know that the wages aren't catching up. So they have to take higher and higher amounts of risk. So they knew, okay, Bitcoin goes up, I better buy and front run that move and get into the altcoins now, the super poopy altcoins that I really want to get big returns in. Now I've got to repeat to you again, markets are getting smarter and faster each cycle. They're not going to sit around for some event and go, well, I think altcoins should go up. They're not going to do that. They're just going to start pummeling upwards. Mr. Plow is going to plow to the moon. Also, Arthur's very bullish on altcoins. Why? In the traditional world, there's a 7-year delay before a startup company, the tech nerds, before they can get some liquidity. On average, 7 years. So if you start up a company today, you don't get any money until 2030 when you can dump your stock. How crap is that, by the way? But with altcoins, this is the best part, friends. That's why the crypto casino is just the greatest thing on earth. You can get liquidity today. You can get it instantly. This is why the VC scum do it. This is why they're subhuman filth trash. And that's why we're going to need them around, because these VC scum, instead of investing for 7 years and taking a punt, they go, you know what? We're not really sure if this thing's going to work out. Let's just dump for a 2x now, and maybe we'll go find something new. When you have these other unicorns, the investors are forced to hold for those 5 to 7 years. They're forced into it. But when you have altcoins, they can dump in like 6 months as soon as they get their token unlocked. That's why I repeat to you, this makes it very fun for us all in the casino, because markets get to put a chart on something that you never thought would have a price for the next 7 years. Now you've got a chart and it's going up and down. It's fluctuating heaps at the most volatile time. Arthur Boo is going to focus on AI. Now, don't get too caught up on the AI, friends. I know you see, yes, he's a billionaire. Yes, he got into Bitcoin early. Yeah, we know he's a genius. But look, you don't know if he's right about AI, man. You need an AI product. Now, it makes sense. You go, okay, AI, ChatGPT is growing fast, but something has to capture everyone's imagination. Don't just think it has to be AI. Remember, look what FriendTech did. FriendTech just combined a few elements and put everybody together, okay? There's no AI there. It's just mixing and matching of different elements out there. So just keep your mind open. Next thing, he speaks about euphoria eventually coming again. Be ready to sell. He says eventually there's going to be another boom-bust cycle, a bear market, and a Great Depression event will appear in the world economy. I mean, everyone says Great Depression. Look, friends, I've explained this to you many times. I'll say it to you again. If the government doesn't intervene, we're going in a Great Depression. Every single time. In the past, like 50 years, if the government did nothing, it's Great Depression time. But they do something every time. So on one hand, everybody's right and everybody's wrong. It's like everybody's saying there's never going to be a Great Depression. Well, they're basically saying, well, everything's fine. Well, no, it's not fine. You need those humans to make the right decision. And then people saying there will be a Great Depression all the time. You go, no, well, you know what I mean? Like, you're assuming that everything just operates in a vacuum. Like, they come and they print currency and they debase it. But the debt is going too high and they're going to reset the system. That's their Ace of Spades card. All right. Now look at this. The Government Playbook has already been done before. By the way, please enjoy this Arnold Schwarzenegger peppy. Okay. Government Playbook, it's already been done before. I've told you this many times. I've shown you charts. World War I, World War II, the government bonds, US Fed made 1913. I showed you their playbook in the 50s and 60s. They released the war bonds. They had 18% inflation. Basically, everybody got destroyed. Everybody gave money to the government. You lost half your purchasing power in 10 years. Thank you very much. And that was World War II. The guy with the mustache was defeated and the bonds got paid for. What are they doing right now? They're doing the same thing in a different way. Okay? The central bank, the US Fed, is going to buy the government debt at a level below GDP so they can profit from it. This will cause financial oppression to the citizens of the nation. The poorer you are, the more inflation hurts. So they're going to basically let inflation run hot for the decade without telling you. It's full psyops, friends. All right? It's full psyops. The data is manipulated. They are not going to share with you, oh, it's 10% inflation, everybody. They're not telling you that, but it's actually happening. Now, you might wonder, why does it actually happen and how do they benefit? Well, here's the thing, okay? If the headline CPI only says 3%, they don't really care. You understand? You know what the most important one is? How much assets and items, goods and services really went up. Maybe they went up 10%. You might wonder, what's the difference? Well, the difference is, if something went up 10%, they're going to get tax revenue from that. That's how they pay off the debt. So they're inflating everything away. So for example, if you had a $100 item, let's say it's $100, okay? Started with $100. And if the headlines imply it went up to 103, the government doesn't care what it implies. Their data is manipulated. All they care about is what the real number is. The real number is $110. Because look at this. You've made an extra $7 compared to the headline here. You made an extra $7, you see? That $7 goes a long way because they get a third of it in tax. That's what they want to keep doing. They want to keep letting the inflation run hot the whole way. And when they do that, they'll be able to generate more revenue over time. But of course, it's actually hitting a point where they can't even do that anymore. And that's why we mentioned citizens are remaining poorer and poorer. So poor people have a high expenditure on energy consumption. Very true. For example, you earn $1,000 a week. You might be spending $200 a week on utilities, petrol, gas, all those. It's a big percentage. So unfortunately, the poor will constantly take super risky bets on altcoins to compensate and make an impact to their net worth. They know they can't earn their way out of slavery. They can't. There's only one way to make it, and it's crypto. That's why I'm telling you, crypto, yes, crypto's mooning, friends. But now a lot of people are coming in. What I tell you, the secret to markets here, it's written here. The secret to markets is positioning. If people are coming in earlier and earlier with the mindset that they have to be positioned turbo long, we're not going to get the result we're like hoping for if the good world scenario plays out. So why is Arthur still bullish on crypto? Without government intervention, it still survived. There was a lot of money lost. The network is still there though. Builders, developers, and the community, it is still there. Bullish on 2024. I think it's super important to listen to him say it. Very cool clip here for you. Let's go.
Been around for 12 years, 13 years, something like that. Obviously, it's done well, but that's a pretty short period of time. What is the thing that gives you confidence that it's going to keep mattering?
So it's a financial system that's gone from zero, right? First Justice Block in 2009, to a system that has weathered multiple crises, right? In the most recent, we had one of the largest exchanges in the world, a bunch of the largest lenders, some of the largest hedge funds, massive amounts of fraud. All of this happened in the span of 6 months. People lost hundreds of billions of dollars in value, yet blocks kept being produced every 10 minutes for Bitcoin, 10 seconds for Ethereum, and whatever blockchains are for a lot of other currencies. The decentralized finance or DeFi movement, people were still trading on decentralized exchanges. People were still borrowing and lending different currencies on some of these lending platforms. The financial architecture worked, even though we had one of the biggest losses of wealth and biggest amounts of financial malfeasance ever in the crypto ecosystem. And I mean, if you want to compare the amount of money that Sam Bankman-Fried and his crew allegedly stole from their customers, it would rank as one of the largest thefts, financial frauds in human history. Right? All this happened. Oh. There was no bailout. There was no central bank that said we need to preserve the system, and therefore, if assuming they could, print a bunch of Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever, and make sure these entities are made whole so that certain people don't lose any money. None of that happened. People lost a lot of money, but the architecture of the system worked. The community was still there. People are still shipping code. I was just at Token 24/9 in Singapore. The energy, 11,000 tickets sold out. Basically almost took over the whole of Marina Bay Sands Convention Center for this conference. People around the world believe in this system. There's some of the smartest people in the world who I've ever met who are building this system.
Isn't that fantastic, friends? So I think it now hits differently after hearing him say it like that. Where you hear Richard Hart saying Pulse Chain has 100% uptime, Hex has 100% uptime. It's kind of fascinating. Like, I know it's funny. It's not exciting for us, but it's really the only reason why we're all still here. It's because no matter what happens, these things are still around. They're not going away anywhere. Now, of course, what value we give, that's a completely different story, right? Like, were we mispriced in the future by a factor of 10 years? Because that's devastating. That's what happened in the tech bubble, right? Like, just because you went up to a certain price, you don't have to get back to that price like ever. Or it could take you 15 years, like Cisco, right? CISQO, that stock. So that's another thing to think about. There are no guarantees, but it's very interesting to hear it from him. Make sure you like, subscribe, belly button, all friends. Hope you enjoyed that one. Catch you the next one.